knees weak, arms heavy, and thus I placed my carcass on the front nerve center of the vehicle. The chair next to me seemed to be significantly higher, as it displayed the importance of the woman sitting there. She glared at me, with her eyeballs piercing into my skin like bullets.
Good morning! My name is Gladys. I will be your tester today. May I see your learner's permit, please?
Beads of perspiration rolled down the uppermost area of my cranium. My hands violently shook as I increased my grip on the driving disc.
All set. You can begin whenever you're ready.
My neck felt stiff as I turned my head around to stare at her beady little eyes, and I focused my attention on the gas pedal, slowly increasing the pressure put on it from my foot. The car roared, and I stayed in place. I looked down at my gear shift, horrified to see what I was staring at. "Sorry," I yelped nervously. Using every drip of energy I still had, I propelled the gear directly forward and shoved my driving disc in the leftmost direction, with no apparent awareness of my blinker. Gladys began to talk to me.
So where do you go to school? Where are you from? What sports do you play?
She nagged and nagged throughout the entire adventure.
Turn into the street right here. Give me a solid 3-point turn.
I jerked the wheel violently into a deep descending abyss, readying myself to begin the journey of a 3-point turn.
You may begin whenever you're ready.
Two little boys were walking right past the rear end of my motor vehicle. Take your time, I thought. Wait until they're done crossing. A few seconds seemed like an eternity. The everlasting ticks from my watch sounded like multiple cannons going off. Finally passed. I slowly back up, concentrating heavily on my grip of the steering wheel. But suddenly, I hear a quick yelp. I turned around to look at Gladys, with her shirt and face saturated with drips of coffee. Silly girl.
I'm sorry!
I ignored her, and I finished my 3-point turn quickly and swiftly.
Okay, now take a quick right turn here.
I noticed he looked around while waiting at the stop sign and began counting the stop signs. Okay, 2 stop signs means a 2-way stop. I can creep forward a little bit, I thought. I slowly lifted my foot off the pedal. The car creeped forward ever so slightly. Suddenly, a wrinkly, low-fat, milk-colored hand grabbed my driving disc. As my body was reacting to the sudden movement, I was interrupted once again by the howling from the passenger seat.
Go back! Put the car in reverse immediately!
I leaned into my driving disc to get a closer view of the intersection to see a little white sedan booming towards me about 2 blocks away. I sighed and immediately put the car in reverse to await further instructions from my lovely instructor.
Okay, when it's safe, please take a right and parallel park behind that truck.
She pointed at this humongous giant of a truck with rust on it as far as the eye can see. I pulled up to it, fuming and wondering why out of all the cars in the street, she chose this one. She looked at me intently, waiting for me to begin. I slowly moved backwards, while her gobble eyes speared into my chest and ripped out my heart.
Stop immediately! You're backed up too far! Turn on your blinker and leave the curb when it's safe to do so!
No, this is how my teacher taught me. I can easily finish this.
She stared at me.
Please continue driving.
My arms were stiff, the tension was high, and my shirt was now see-through. After a few jerky and whirly turns, we ended up back at the same location as before.
Well, you got a few things to improve.
I nodded and opened the door to the car, stomped over to the other side, and, eventually tackled her to the ground.
Boy, come here, boy! Hey, boy!
However, my imagination had gotten the best of me. quickly jumped back into reality and forcefully grabbed the receipt she was handing to me. Well, the end.